From St. Cloud, Minnesota, on the bass guitar, Harry Lane. Back here on the drums from Dover, Ohio, Ryan Day.
Hi everybody, welcome back for another video. Today I want to talk a little bit about what I think is probably the most important risk that you have as a self-defender, and that is your zip code, where you live, and where you work. Those are two parameters that a lot of folks say those are unchangeable. This is where I am, this is where I grew up, this is where my family is. And you don't consider the option of going somewhere else. We're in the process again. My wife has been recruited and we were in Nashville. So she's looking for a place to live there, not in Florida, but now in Nashville. Every time that she goes to a new job, we buy a home. We usually invest in real estate and we accumulate properties, and that's one great way that you can grow your wealth. And it's a bit of work. There's some beautiful real estate. Nashville is booming. As you can see, downtown area is great. Right now there are plenty of new options for people to live downtown or other places. This is something that you should consider in your life. If you want to be in a safe place or safe location, as we love Florida, we're going to retire in Florida, and we're going to go back there. But right now, there's a place you need to live. Well, we want to choose where we live and not let it choose us. And the best way that you can position yourself for that is to set out at a young age on a track of choosing a career. And you go on a career trajectory and you follow that path, and you let that lead you and give you options and give you leverage and power in terms of determining where you want to go, where you want to live, where you want to work. That is the preferable way to do it. The opposite would be to say, I'm going to go job to job, I'm not going to train, I'm not going to get a skill set that's desirable for me, and that people outside of my city or state are going to be wanting my skills. So if you go a professional path and you learn skills that are needed everywhere, you'll benefit. So let me just have a frank conversation with you here about your self-defense and your zip code. So this is a topic that I've been wanting to talk about, but I've been hesitant to talk about it because in general, I know that everyone does not have the means to move to wherever they want to go. I see it a lot in the less lethal community, in the forums, people complaining about their state laws, their local laws, the fact that not only are firearms so restricted, but even to have an air gun or a less lethal launcher or a pepper spray is highly restricted in many states like California, New York, New Jersey, Illinois, and the list goes on. And they say, if I could, I would live so-and-so. I would go to Texas or Florida or many of the places that are 2A favoring states. There's currently, I think right now, 29 states, and it keeps growing every day. Just added 2 more. I think Louisiana was added. And these are constitutional carry states, all of these red states that are essentially in the middle of the country, and then on each coast in the United States, that's where you got these rigid, strict laws, and they're trying to outlaw any way that you can defend yourself. So I don't normally talk about politics on this channel, but I occasionally will get comments about less lethals and comments to the order of saying that because I'm not promoting firearm only and that I'm promoting less lethal, that I am somehow against firearms. And I say, well, just go look at my channel and see my videos, or go to my X feed, and you'll quickly learn that I'm very pro 2A. But there is a politics of self-defense, and there's politics of less lethal defense. And you can vote with your feet, and we did that. I grew up in essentially the South, but my job and our careers took us to the North. We lived in Maryland. We lived in Ohio. Ohio was not that bad, but Maryland was pretty strict. And we understand what it's like. Our daughter's living in New York City right now, so we know what it's like when we go up there to visit her. We know what's going on. So we made a choice when we were in Ohio that we wanted to go south, and we've been in Georgia, Florida, and now Tennessee, in this general area, living, working, buying homes, and some of those we now use as rental properties for extra income. So there are different ways that you can start yourself on a trajectory in order to give yourself the power and put yourself in the driver's seat. We did this very early. We stretched ourselves in our early 30s when we were still in training and I was just getting going, and we bought our first home, and that was in Maryland, and then our jobs took us elsewhere, so we ended up selling a home in Maryland, which doubled in price in the first 3 years. So you really, sometimes these kind of things, you stretch, you make an effort, and then you'll benefit from it in ways that you couldn't predict. And then you sort of take these steps to build your career and make yourself in control enough that you can go where you want to go. Like if I wanted to go to Texas, I could go to Texas. There have been, me and my wife had each had opportunities to go to California and live, and we never could pull the trigger because as beautiful as it is out there and as attractive as it used to be, we're very fortunate that we didn't go based on the way things have changed and it has really gotten so bad. We cannot speak more highly enough of Florida. Here in Georgia, it's kind of a mix, but every big city is going to be really tough on your self-defense. You're going to have to be careful. You will get prosecuted if you're using your less lethal in the wrong way. And it's very easy with the less lethal to sort of creep over the line and get charged with excessive force. Yeah, it's easy to use it to defend someone. If you fire 1 or 2 shots and you get away, great. But if you are one of these guys with a hopper, or you have a large mag and you hit them instead of 2 times, you hit them 12 times with 12 different rounds, then you got to worry because you are in a city or a jurisdiction where they're going to go after you. And so that happens in every state. So it's not really state by state because here in Georgia, Atlanta would be very tough on me if I use an air gun. And if I'm in the city limits, it's against the law to be carrying an air gun. But yet it's a constitutional carry state, so I could carry a firearm. So the laws just make no sense. We're attracted to places like that. So when we make decisions and my wife's looking for another position and she gets recruited, we exclude places that we don't want to go. She liked Nashville. It looks like a wonderful place. It is extremely expensive and a booming place. It's filled with lots of entertainers and country music folks, and it's extremely different from Florida, and it's extremely different from Georgia. But this area of the country is very favorable for self-defenders in general, except for perhaps within the big cities. So I would just say do the best you can in your environment. I know if you're in a very unsafe living environment and you're conscientious and you want to get out of it, I believe that everyone has the ability to move, whether it's across town or it's to another state. You have the ability to control your zip code to some degree, and you should try to do that. That is in my opinion, the number one factor to your personal safety is where you live and where you work and how you commute. And we go to great lengths to choose those things very wisely. And then it dramatically lowers your risk level in general on the day-to-day. Now, of course, you're at risk when you're going to unpredictable places, you're traveling, and then you're out at night in certain places. There's always risk, but everything you can do to mitigate that and bring it down, and choose to live in a place that mitigates risk, the better you can be. If it has a gate and it's a gated community, down in Florida, everything is gated in all the places that we live. And in some cases, it's double gated. You go through a main gate into a big community that's like a little city inside of a gate, and then your entire street or neighborhood has a second gate. So that is the height of home security and home defense, and that's where I'm going to retire. And then I won't have to worry so much about home security. And these are kind of things that are far more effective for you if you can position yourself to reach those milestones than the next launcher, the next firearm that you have to carry in great concern for your safety and thinking you're going to need it at any moment. So granted, it takes training, education, money, but you can get there. You just have to be dedicated and motivated to do it. You can get out of whatever situation you're in that is uncomfortable for you, that leads you to pursue your less lethal defense or pursue firearms. So that's all I'm going to say about it. I'm sure that hopefully you give me some feedback. I want to hear from you. I want to hear about your situation and what obstacles you think you have and how I might be able to share my experience. Of course, we're all here to help, and that's my goal. So everybody take care again, and we'll see you in the next one.
Oh, yeah, y'all. John Mayer music. Amazing songwriter.